Welcome to the first of 4 videos on how to become an effective writer in 4 easy steps. The approach to writing presented in this tutorial is specifically aimed at meeting the writing needs of business professionals. Here are some of the types of writing that we need to be able to do as effectively as possible, including business proposals, business plans, reports. Sometimes we are even called upon to write journal or magazine articles, presentations, or position papers. The methodology that we will teach in this tutorial is one that will give you a great advantage in your writing. What is more, it is very easy to learn, easy to use, proven to be effective, and we use a single approach that can be applied to all types of business writing. The only thing we are required to do is to follow 4 easy steps. If there is one aspect of our writing methodology that is different, it is the central role that planning plays. We believe that to be an effective business writer, you must first develop a writing plan, then write from that plan. It is this emphasis on planning that differentiates our approach to writing from others that you may have encountered. In fact, planning is so central to what we do that we call our methodology Plan-Driven Writing, or PDW. In this tutorial, we will be teaching you how to perform each of the 4 steps involved in becoming an effective writer. Specifically, you will learn how to visualize your writing plan, document your writing plan, enhance your writing plan, and finally, execute your writing plan. This first video will focus on step number 1, how to visualize a writing plan. The subsequent 3 videos will each focus on a succeeding step. In other words, video 2 will explain how you document your plan, video 3 will explain how you enhance your writing plan by dressing it up, and video 4 will show you how to execute or write from your plan. Okay, let's get started. When I decided to develop this tutorial, the first thing I did was to visualize what I would cover in my presentation. And this is how I visualized it. I used a charting technique known as a Visual Table of Contents, or VTOC diagram. First, I said that my tutorial will have 4 major topics. So I built a VTOC diagram that shows each of the topics on a chart at the same level below the 4 easy steps tutorial box. Notice that I gave each box a number. For example, step number 1 became box number 1, 1.0. Step number 2 became box 2.0, and so forth. If this had been a 3 easy steps to effective writing tutorial, there would only have been 3 boxes. A 7-step process would have resulted in 7 boxes. As you can see, using these diagrams makes it quick and easy to visualize your writing plan. One important consequence of visualizing like this is that with this one simple diagram, I have been able to explain in a very understandable way what you can expect me to cover in my tutorial, even though I haven't written anything yet. Further, I can quickly change my visualization with little or no rewriting. Let's talk a little bit about some of the mechanical issues of doing these kinds of VTOC diagrams. First, it is in reality a very dynamic but manual process. We don't take the time to draw fancy diagrams. We are just trying to capture thoughts on the fly with a word or 2 and a sketch. We are trying to work at thought speed, not writing speed. This is a more likely view of my overview diagram for this tutorial. This is how it would have looked doing it manually. Standing at a whiteboard with a marker pen or with a pen and paper, we can lay out our vision very quickly because we just need to jot down our thoughts without a whole lot of explanation. We can make changes just as easily by crossing out or adding new boxes on the fly. The same approach can be used for any type of business writing on any topic. Let's have some fun and imagine that we have been asked to write an article for the company newsletter on fishing. I have only tried fishing for 4 species of fish, namely bluegill, sunfish, trout, bass, and tarpon, so I decide that I will write about them. Therefore, this is what my visualization of the article on fishing looks like. This is at a high-level picture of what I want to write about. Let's say that I talk to a few people about the plan for my article. They tell me people won't be interested in bluegill fishing. They also suggest that deep-sea trophy fishing is currently all the rage. I decided to make some revisions based upon their suggestions. Here's how my manual changes to the diagram would have looked. Not too elegant, but very quick and effective. You'll see here that I have crossed out box 1.0. We're not going to do bluegills. I've changed the sequencing of trout, bass, and tarpon by giving them the new number 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. And now I've added a trophy fish is 4.0 marlin. I suddenly have an uncomfortable thought. What if people really want to read about what one needs to use to get the best fishing results? Under those circumstances, my article should focus on the kind of fish line, fish pole, fishing method, and bait someone would use for the best fishing results. After some thought, I realized that there is real merit in both ideas, and that I need to combine my thinking on these matters, which leads me to the next visual chart. I decide that I will stick with my first idea that focused on a separate category for each kind of fish. However, I decide that I will then discuss the kinds of things that you can use to achieve the best results for each species of fish. In this example, I'm going to talk about what types of line, pole, fishing method, and bait will give you the best results when fishing for bass. Notice that I place the new entries on the diagram attached to box 2.0 entitled Bass. Also that I now number them as 2.1, 2.2, etc. I do this because it enables me to see at a glance all the topics I will write about whenever I'm writing about bass. I will do something similar but not necessarily the same for each of the fish species. Once I have done this for all of the species, I will have a more complete vision of what will be contained in my article on fishing. Let's take a moment and examine what we have been doing with these diagrams and how that helps us to become a more effective writer. Using this visual diagram, we first develop a top-down vision of what we are going to write about. That is, we start with the general view of what we are going to write about and then move to the more detailed view. This gives us a lot of vertical organization to our plan. It's a great roadmap that tells us what things belong together. We can then continue to visualize our writing plan in greater and greater detail using the same sort of visual diagram. We number each new level of detail by adding a new number that is linked to the higher level of number. The blue shaded boxes now tell us about all of the different types of fishing poles we will discuss as being appropriate to fishing for bass. Using this method, I can easily see what topics need to be discussed together in the article I am writing on fishing. Once I do this for all 4 species of fish that I want to write about, I will have a fairly complete visualization of my article. Here is another advantage that we gain from visualizing with these diagrams. Looking from left to right at any level in my diagram, we can see the order of sequence in which I plan to write things. I will want to select an order to our writing that makes the most sense. While the sequence is not important in this diagram, the order is extremely important with regards to this presentation. We would definitely not want to start with step 4.0, executing the plan, before developing the plan in steps 1, 2, and 3. Visualization makes it easy to start planning, enables you to quickly reduce a very complex task into easy to understand components, and then to focus on them one at a time. It also enables you to change your thinking about what you will write about and the organization and the sequencing of it before you actually write. In short, it creates a clear picture that you can review yourself or with others in an organized way. As you can see, the chart itself becomes useful documentation as well. I strongly recommend that you keep your diagrams very visible throughout the writing project. Seeing them frequently reinforces them in your mind and stimulates thinking about the writing plan and ways to improve it. Keep charts written on the board or taped to the wall so that you can refer to them from time to time. People frequently ask me how long the visualization process should continue. My suggestion is we doodle with our visual plan until we feel it is concise, clear, orderly, complete, and readily understandable. Let's review how we visualize. First, we use a numbered visual table of contents, which we call a VTOC diagram. We then create a top-down picture of what we want to say or write about, and we move from the general to specific. Thirdly, we move from left to right in the order sequence that we plan to follow in your writing. And then lastly, we frequently review to ensure that your content is complete and organized and sequenced. That concludes our formal presentation of Video 1. Your practice assignment, which we suggest you consider doing, should be done before proceeding to topic Video 2. For your practice assignment, pick a topic of your choice and construct a high-level visual table of contents. Then, for each box in the high-level view, break it down into the next level of detail. Remember, 1.0 breaks down into 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, etc. Break it down one more time. Remember, 1.1 breaks down to 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3, etc. Once you have completed that assignment, review the visual plan for your special assignment. Ask yourself, is the plan complete? Are the vertical groupings correct? Does the horizontal sequencing make sense? And then make any needed corrections that you see. If possible, repeat the first 3 steps above using a friend or colleague to give an outside review. Make needed corrections based on that review and go to the second video associated with this tutorial. This video and the following 3 videos are based upon materials taken from my recent textbook, 4 Easy Steps to More Effective Writing, which is available either from Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com.